right, guys. Welcome to the first edition of the Cat Pack here in 2023. We got the Wildcats facing off against the Hoxie Mustangs tonight. I'm Kevin Bishop alongside Luke Bishop and Evan Bishop. So I guess a trio of Bishops bringing you the game tonight. Hoxie comes into this game. They're coming off a season of 7-4 last year. Tom Sears is their head coach. He's been there since they played in leather helmets. I think he's got a record of about 147 and 96, somewhere in that range. Been there 25, 26 years. A lot of area coaches come from under his leadership, and actually Coach Cook, the first-year head coach for the Truman Wildcats, is playing his alma mater on his very first game. So I don't know that it can be much of more of a storybook than Coach Cook getting to play his alma mater. Hoxie comes to town, and we've had a little bit of drama today. Truman on a boiled water order. So there was, at 4 o'clock this afternoon, there was some talk of possibly canceling the game, rescheduling the game, because it's no secret we're dealing with tremendous heat, which the Cramps will play in tonight. And we see the coin toss there. Our captains for the Wildcats, Jake Osment and Evan Shroud,
yes, sir.
Okay, both seniors. Jake Osment will be taking over the rims of quarterback. Big shoes to fill, coming off Murphy Williams, one of the best athletes to ever come through Truman. He may be better than his dad, the legend. But the Wildcats are about to take the field, so we're gonna turn this game over to the field where you can see the Wildcats enter. Let us know you're watching tonight. Give us a text. We'll try to get you a shout out on the air, but we're ready for some Wildcat football up here in the press box. Your Wildcats, as you can see on your screen there, are about to take the field.
You know, we saw Jake last year for a few minutes, and we could see that he can throw the ball. He's not just another fill-in. He has the talent to do it.
Jake does have a cannon of an arm. I mean, he can whip the ball around, and these guys have played together a long time. This senior class, a lot of these guys have played quite a bit since they've been sophomores. So, big expectations for them this year, coming off a 5-6 season, but the Wildcats, 4 straight years in the playoffs. Coach Cook, although the new head coach, no stranger to the program. He was an assistant coach under Coach Phillips, who is now at Paragould. So I know his nerves and the excitement and everything around it. You can't ask for a bigger night. I mean, I think everybody in Northeast Arkansas was ready for football, and Truman loves their football. So it'd be nothing better than to open up with a win against Hoxie Mustangs. And Hoxie Mustangs are not going to be a pushover. Looking at the Hootens magazine, they're picked to finish first in their conference. They are 3A, Truman 4A. And Hoxie also ranked number 8 in Class 3. Truman comes in, picked 5th in their conference, arguably one of the hardest 4A conferences in the state. They are picked 5th in that conference, ranked 28th overall in the state. But this team, they don't care what that 5th place ranking means, and you can throw that out the window once we get the first snap.
And, we're not really missing anyone. We brought back most of our line. And we do have a lot of seniors on the team, but we also have a few freshmen starting on the starting line and playing on defense. We have a few players out tonight due to injury. We have Coda Cameron over here on the sideline with an injury.
I didn't realize Coda was out.
Yes, he hurt his knee a few weeks ago, but he'll be back soon. As of right now, he will play somewhat in the season.
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, my bad. Cade Hatton is another one. If you remember last year, got ejected in the 4th quarter against Star City.
Yeah, so AAA rules do dictate. Even if it's the last game of the year, he has to set out a game
of the regular season. He did get to play last week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Truman faced off against Brooklyn in a scrimmage, and it's hard to tell from the jamborees and the scrimmage. People are running subs in and out. So right now, these Wildcat fans are on their feet. Got Mr. Mayor J. Paul Woods on the mic. He's trying to get the crowd fired up. We got a good crowd here, even though we started an hour late, and it is hot.
On your feet, Wildcat fans! Here come your Wildcats!
Here come the Wildcats, led by Jake Osment out of the tunnel, Carson Smith, Evan Shroud. me see who they're.
And it looks like Gavin Cubitt. Or no,
Gavin
it's Carson
Greenwell,
Smith.
yeah.
Carson Smith wearing the big flag.
You got Carson Smith. You got Gavin Greenwell wearing number 15. Gavin, a 3-year starter. Jake, a 3-year starter. Carson Smith actually set out his freshman year of football, came back as a sophomore. Or no, I take that back. Set out his sophomore year. Came back as a junior, saw significant playing time last year, had some sacks. And I have heard a lot of, and Evan, you may be able to give us more insight. There was a lot of hard work put in the weight room this summer, I guess. I've heard a lot of these guys have gotten a lot stronger since last year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially these underclassmen that are stepping up. There's a bunch of underclassmen, sophomores and juniors that are stepping up to help this team in a bunch of ways.
Yeah, we do forget about that. There's a lot of youth. Truman returned 6 starters on offense, 5 starters on defense, but some very good sophomores that'll see significant playing time tonight. I know from the scrimmage we had Cade Hayes saw significant playing time, and then the Donovan kid. What's his first name?
Caden Donovan.
Which he got playing time last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, he was moved up as a freshman, and then we can't forget about Gavin Cubitt. Gavin looks like a man among boys, especially in junior high, and they say he's got one speed and it's fast, but a good kid, makes good grades. Pulled up last year for the playoffs as a freshman. Once he got the nerves out, played really well, and I know they're expecting big things out of him. They're going to run him on the defensive line, and then they do have him in the backfield at fullback. We got to see Brody Popejoy. Brody's
5.
a sophomore. He ran the ball quite a bit at fullback.
And Brody has put on a lot of weight, and I'm talking good weight. He's been in the weight room, and it's estimated he's gained around 30 or 40 pounds, which that comes to a lot of eating. To his lanky brother.
Oh yeah, he's in it. Kagan. I'm sorry, I always mess it up. So Kagan Popejoy, senior, you'll see him on the basketball court.
And rumors tonight is that we're going to have Gavin Cubitt run the ball. We usually see him at D-line or maybe offensive line, but right now it looks like they're running him at a fullback position. He should get a few carries tonight.
Well, that's exciting. I know last year a lot of people were wanting to see him with the ball in his hands some. He was known to break some big runs in junior high just because he's so hard to tackle. And then, of course, Garcia kicking. Probably will go down as one of the stronger kickers to come through Truman. He can put it in the end zone if he wants to. Has had a strong foot since he was in junior high. But we're going to start off with a little pooch kick. Hoxie, fair catch at 35-yard line. So we'll see what this Wildcat defense has to offer. Luke, Evan, I'll let you guys keep up with the rosters there. You guys can help me out on that. And guys, we apologize if we get any names or numbers wrong. We just go off the paper we have in front of us. I know from time to time jerseys get switched around and people get upset when the wrong name's called. But if we do make a mistake and there's a correction we need to make, feel free to shoot us a text and we'll try to get that made. So Hoxie about to have their first snap of the 2023 season.
H-back goes in motion.
And they do. They were in the spread offense, so they'll spread it out. Good. The Wildcats can't be on roller skates tonight. We're going to, first play from scrimmage, Hoxie picks up about 8 yards. Brought down by number 11, Carson Smith, the senior.
I think a very interesting storyline tonight. Hoxie's only returning one senior offensive lineman, I think, on both the O-line and D-line. So it's very, very important to watch the lines tonight, as this is a very inexperienced Hoxie line front.
Well, where the nerves play in on that, a lot of people don't realize. But offensive linemen are doing a lot of moving. You have an assignment on one guy. You miss that assignment, it blows up the whole play. Those guys are in the trenches and don't get a lot of the credit a lot of times, but that's where the work's put in. And they pulled 3 linemen that time.
Outside. Good block.
That's well-designed play. The playbook should be no secret to Coach Cook. Coach Sears
they were talking about that.
Yeah, he's ran the same offense for a lot of years, been very successful. Probably a future Hall of Fame high school coach.
We saw number 11, Jake Jones, go in motion there. Jake Jones is currently committed to University of Central Arkansas right now. He plays both tight end and defensive end.
So Hoxie across midfield.
Another motion.
About the 48-yard line.
Oh, come on.
Looks like we might have a little bit of a delay, so we apologize for that. We'll try to watch the screen. I know last year that was a little bit of a struggle. We were calling it ahead of the play, you could see. So we would remind everyone, I'm sure by now if you're listening, you're on the internet, you've seen, but Truman will be under a boiled water
Say advisory.
Advisory, I guess is what you would call it. I've heard maybe Wednesday or Thursday, but just make sure you're using bottled water to brush your teeth. Not eating any of the ice. So here we go, Hoxie, second and about 3. Ball snap.
Carson
was in the backfield, but just couldn't get there in time.
Oh, fumble!
That's
Gavin Cubitt.
That's for Gavin Cubitt.
That is huge for the Wildcats. Gavin Cubitt, sophomore, recovers the fumble, and that's huge. Hoxie was driving the ball. We may come back to that play later in the game and go, hey, that was a big deal.
And as you see, as we were talking about these underclassmen, we have Brody Popejoy, Cade Hayes, I think Brandon Doan out here on the field right now working as these sophomores, really not experienced high school level football, but as you see, they do a good job covering the field. I guess we'll move to offense.
Excited to see this Truman O-line, very veteran group.
Dude.
So Wildcats, they'll start at their own 25, about 20, right on the 25-yard line. Jake Osmond will take the first snap of his senior season in regular play. Wildcats running basically the same offense, but we're told they're going to open it up and throw it a little more, so we'll see. And hey, right off the bat, smart football. They pull them off sides. That's the easiest 5 yards you can get. What I hope happens right here is the Wildcats strike quick. That's what you talk about home field advantage. We cause a fumble, we recover it. If we can go down and score, you put Hoxie in a position that they're not used to being in all the time. And this Truman crowd, if anybody gets behind their football team, I mean, I'm partial, but Truman does get behind their football, and it's a packed house here tonight.
Looks like they're trying to get a call in.
We're going to call a delay a game on that, I think.
Bring on emotion.
Yeah, it does look like a delay of game, and that was one of the things that I noticed in the scrimmage was a little bit of a struggle on getting the plays called in. That's not uncommon this time of the year. I mean, you got a new coach. I'm sure he's implemented some new things, and we think they'll get those kinks worked out. But the Wildcats still 1st and 10. They picked up the free 5 yards, but they'll have to get 10 again.
Looks like a pass, dropping back.
Opening up.
Oh, he throws it.
Evan
Garcia,
Garcia.
just dropped. What a pass.
And Garcia just couldn't bring it in. It was well covered.
Pass broke up by number 8, Nolan Blackshear for Hoxie.
Am I behind? Do I need to watch the screen?
No, you do it with what?
I do the field.
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats, and it's probably been a long time since the Wildcats have opened up with a pass on their very first play of the year, but I'll have somebody out there that'll tell me no, they've done it the last 4 years, but I don't remember that. So trap up the middle, nothing there.
Looks like Brody Popejoy maybe. Let's see him get up.
Yeah,
Yeah, Brody Popejoy with the run just stopped.
Evan, how many returning linemen does Truman have that?
So they have everyone but one.
All but one.
That one is Devin Smithson. He's a sophomore. He's really stepped up for this O-line.
Is that Derek's son? Is that Derek Smithson's son? Okay, Derek. Derek, a couple years younger than me in high school.
Looks like they're not going to call that offsides. Huh?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Late
There it
flag.
goes.
You talked him into it, Luke. I think he heard it.
That's definitely what it was.
Looks like Truman's going to get 5 yards to it.
We'll sit on 3rd and 5.
Also for the Wildcats, we haven't mentioned a new face on the sideline, Coach Matt Reynolds. Coach Reynolds comes to us from Brooklyn. great coach. I mean, I have heard nothing but good things. You talk to Brooklyn people, and they'll tell you just a great guy.
And we're also introducing Coach Gossett. Coach
Oh,
Gossett,
yeah, Coach Gossett.
he'll be our head baseball coach.
Yep. I forgot about him helping with football. So the Wildcats are going to take a timeout, and for those of you that are not familiar with the Donovan family, I can see Daddy Donovan running the sideline now, and he will be up and down this fence. If there's not he may be the most exciting Truman fan that I've seen. He will not sit down, but he can get those boys fired up, and he was just as excited in Pee Wee as he is here at high school football. Oh, good timeout because this is a big third down, 3rd and 5. The Wildcats obviously want to take advantage of the turnover. So you get a chance to talk about it. You're not delayed calling in the play.
Yeah. Timeout, 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats. Timeout, 3rd down and 5.
It looks like Jake Osmond's going to keep it.
Pushed out.
I think he's just going to go.
Good run by Jake. It's not going to be enough. He picks up a couple. It brings up 4th and about a long. Well, that's a good 2 yards. I mean, I think you almost have to punt. And these are situations where they do. I mean, senior Cade Hatton, where it'll become important tonight not having him in the backfield. Cade's just a big playmaker.
Same thing with Coda Cameron out.
Coda as well.
The ball's not even set.
So we've got, there he goes, pumping for the game. 40 seconds to go back on the game clock. Wildcats going for it unless we're going to do a poop. No, they go for it. Hey, I like the gutsy call.
There he goes. Good play call, coach.
And for those of you that have never had the chance to wear the coaching hat, even when you coached your kid, that's a tough call. I mean, you're on your side of the field. It's 4th and 1. Early in the game, you don't get that. People are going to question your decision making, but now we do get it. 1st and 10. New set of downs.
Looks like he ran just the same play. They stop it.
Yeah, Hoxie was ready for it that time. We pick up about a yard.
Truman had 2 H-backs in the backfield. Those looked like Gavin Cuban and Carson Smith back there. So
Carson Smith in the backfield. Gavin Greenwell wears number 12, so I was wrong on that. I didn't mean to say that earlier. I think it might have been Cade Hayes running that. So Cade Hayes, I can't believe they let a sophomore have the flag in his hand, but they let Cade Hayes carry one earlier. So Gavin Greenwell here on the near side, split out to the wide side. Is that
Brandon Dome?
Dome. Okay. Yeah, Brandon Dome. Okay, yeah. Ron Sitton, go to church with Brandon's mom and stepdad, Mr. Ryan, Miss Kim.
It looks like he's dropped back for another pass. He rolls outside to the left. Gets it over, just over his head.
Good decision by Jake to tell his receiver to go downfield, but he let him a little too much on that play. And that's a tough throw going that direction. You got to come across your body, and that's tough. Oops. Kicking the monitor around. So we do apologize out there. I'm hearing that it's froze up. We're hearing that the game's froze up. The commentary's working, but heard from a few people that the video feed's froze up. We'll see. Justin, we got him in here.
Back to the booth for a minute.
So we're going to go back to the booth for a minute. You guys get to look at our face for a second until Justin gets this fixed. Jake Osmond, we do have a flag. It's most likely going to be movement on the Wildcats.
That's what it is.
Yeah, false start against the Wildcats.
That hurts us on 3rd and long. We really need to be careful with that. We're on 3rd and 9.
Yeah, so you go from 3rd and 9 to 3rd and 14. So it's definitely a 2-down situation. I mean, I don't know, guys. What do you do here? Do you run it and try to pick up 5 or 6 yards knowing you're going for it on 4th down? Or
with this new offense, it wouldn't surprise me if we did just do like a little midfield pass. I don't see us going long, but at the same time, our run game hasn't been the greatest at the start of this game. So, I mean, I could see it just about anywhere in the midfield.
Miss Amy, Jeff, DJ, if you guys are out there, let us know if it still froze up. I think Justin got it fixed. It looks like it is on our end. We are going to pass it. Osmond
Oh, he
comes
was launching
deep.
it
He's open,
to
wide
Everett.
open.
He catches it.
He's at the 5. He scores. And the Wildcats strike first.
What a pass by Jake Osmond.
Unbelievable.
He does have an arm.
Jake put it right on the money. Garcia made a good move on the defensive back. I mean, it was just a well executed play.
Just a go ball right there for Efren.
61-yard touchdown. So Wildcats, I'm guessing Hoxie might not have prepared for that type of offense. I mean, Coach Cook typically would have come out and ran the ball, I think, quite a bit. But he said early on they were going to open it up and throw the ball a little more this year, and he's certainly held to that. So Coach Cook also gets his first touchdown as a head coach. 7:27 to go here in the first quarter. Wildcats lead 6-0. And Garcia, after scoring the touchdown, will attempt the extra point. And
Looks like it's
blocked.
blocked.
Not sure what happened there. I don't know if we just didn't get it blocks or typically we've not had that struggle. But hey, the Wildcats are up 6-0. We got a little bit of momentum. The crowd's fired up.
I'll tell you what, it's so important to settle yourselves in on your first drive, and I think the Wildcats did just that with that score.
I was so loud I couldn't.
Reclaimer a fan down here, folks. Ain't getting a word on that.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. They're moving the fan on us, guys. They said we wasn't sweating enough down here. We do have a full house up here in the press box. You got Sean Hall that spots for Mr. J. Paul, and then of course Justin and Zane up here trying to run things. Justin trying to watch Carson play at the same time. Mr. John Maley, Mr. Gary Williams running the clock. They're putting the pressure on us. They're putting two preachers up here. Evan, you want to be a preacher? They're trying
There,
to,
yeah.
everybody got to watch themselves up here tonight. All right, so and if you guys have any scores from around the region, around Northeast Arkansas, feel free to let us know. We'll try to announce those. I know Manila had Rivercrest tonight. Harrisburg had Cross County. Brooklyn was at West Side. That's a few of the games I know going on tonight.
We also have a game of the week, Osceola and Newport.
That's right, Osceola and Newport game of the week. Two programs with a lot of tradition.
And one big change to the defense you see is our middle linebackers are gone. We lost Eli Evett this past year, and we actually have Rico Hunt coming in to start.
Rico, a junior.
Oh, and they dropped it. And we recovered the kickoff.
Another turnover. So the Wildcats with the pooch, well, they're saying Hoxie's coming up with the ball. It looked like Truman fell on it. We'll see what the official says.
Looked like it was recovered by number 14, Logan Mars.
Yep, and they are going to say
Truman
Truman ball.
Good ball.
Truman ball. So right now I'm looking across at the Hoxie fans and they're stunned. They're just, it's like, can't believe this is happening. They come out, 3 big plays from the line of scrimmage, turn the ball over, Truman strikes, now another turnover, and this side we're on Hoxie's side of the field. Truman will have the ball at about the 42-yard line. See Carson Smith in the backfield. We got Jake Osmond.
Looked like Gavin Cubitt.
It was like
Gavin
Gavin
Cubitt lining up at fullback. So Carson at the H-back. Gavin Greenwell here on the near side.
Looks like a
Cubitt
hand
with
up
the
to
ball.
Cubitt.
He's
He
like
spins
a
out, and he's
out,
still
comes
going.
out of it.
He's still going.
Still going.
And he has a first down almost.
So
He got
Cubitt,
about a yard short, but
very
run.
first play from scrimmage as a sophomore, he picks up a solid 9 yards.
I'll be spotted at the 33-yard line. Second down and 1. Second down and 1 on the Wildcat.
Very talented sophomore, Gavin Cubitt.
he's been traveling a lot this summer. He did, just to go to football camps. He went to the University of Alabama to even go to one of their camps this summer. A lot of talent. A lot of talent in that whole sophomore class.
Jake Hoffman took a direct snap up the middle.
So Jake picks up the first down, and hey, we appreciate our audience out there. It might be small, but we're gonna feel like maybe there's probably 1,000 to 1,500 people watching. But Miss Julianne Penner, our current school board president out watching tonight, her and Mr. DJ, and I know the legend, Jeff Williams, I've been told, is watching tonight as well, and Miss Amy Henderson.
You know, I was down there in the crowd before the game, and I think this is one of the biggest student sections we've had in quite a while. The student section is really led by Natalie Bingham, Carly Hayes, and Jenna Hall.
What was the theme tonight, guys?
It was beach party.
Beach party,
Beach
and yeah,
party.
Luke was bragging on the student section when he come up here tonight. He's like, man, that student section is for real tonight.
And believe it or not, a lot of that has to do with the freshman class. There's probably a good 20 or 30 freshmen in there, which you really don't see.
I like it. A student section I mean, they don't realize it, but they can impact the game. I mean, you know.
Is it better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing it's better, Justin. They're saying it. Yep, saying it's better.
I'm working on getting the scoreboard fixed.
Okay, and Justin is working on getting the scoreboard fixed. We'll get that up for you guys. But the Wildcats lead 6-0, 1st and 10.
About 6 minutes left in the first quarter.
Was that Cubitt with the ball again? Yep. Cubitt with the ball again. So if you're just tuning in, the Wildcats scored on a 61-yard connection from Jake Osment to Garcia. Is it Efren or Efron?
It's Efren.
All right, Efren Garcia. So I'll try not to butcher that again tonight. So Wildcats second and about 6.
You know,
7.
going from a personality-wise, he is kind of quiet and just kind of like cool and collected to himself, but when you get in that football practice, he's one of the meanest dudes you'll meet. He takes it very seriously.
Ball snap. Osment fakes the handoff, and he's got a lot of green.
He gets tripped, but gets the first down. They throw a flag.
Could be a block in the back. I hope not. Could be. We'll see. It was thrown right around the corner there when Jake made the turn upfield. He did pick up the first down if it stands. They're going to call, block in the back for the Wildcats. And another one that we are missing tonight, Tony Postel. So these Wildcats playing solid, but got a lot of guys that usually see significant playing time sidelined. And we'll see the Wildcats here. It's going to be second and about 11. So they'd love nothing more to put some points on the board here. And again, Hoxie, I know it's the first game of the year. Rankings don't mean a whole lot, but #1 in their conference, or picked to win that conference, ranked number 8 in Class 3. Big football tradition up that way.
It looks like he's dropped back for another pass. He fakes it. Pulls out to the right. Looks like he's going to maybe keep it. And they just attack it. Brought down by 3. Hoxie's players.
We're going to lose a few yards on that. You know, it's easy to coach from up here. Jake might should have threw that one out of bounds, get outside the tackles and throw it, but hey, he's a playmaker and he was trying to make a play. We're definitely in 2-down territory. We're not going to punt, obviously. So you've got 2 downs to pick up about 14, 15 yards. Maybe a little tight end pop pass here. Something across the middle.
Tell you what, speaking of Efren Garcia, very talented kicker. I wouldn't be surprised if they took a field goal here, if they could close enough.
Looks like the
Slow
play
again, getting the play in.
calling timeout. Play clock's out.
Well, we've got a timeout here, but you know, it's easy to be critical. But that is one thing I think the Wildcats are going to have to work on is to get the plays called in a little bit quicker. I mean, and it's early. I mean, but they did have to burn a timeout. But a good burn timeout. We need to score here, don't we, guys? So, Evan, starting your senior year this year, real world hits in about 9 months.
Oh, I know, man. I know, man. I ain't ready for it.
Well, hey, you'll hear all the old guys say it, but it's the absolute truth. I mean, you'll blink your eyes and you'll be out of school 20 years, and it goes by quick. Luke will be a junior this year.
Yes, sir.
I know Luke's itching for basketball season to crank up. We're not wanting to rush football, but basketball will be cranking up.
I know we're here at a football game, but talking about basketball, we put a lot of work in the weight room. We're really not missing anybody. We've lost our point guard, with Chris Harris, but other than that, I mean, we're looking good. Brooklyn lost most of their talent. mostly their bigs, and Blythe lost just about everyone, which, they had the big 6'10" center Rashad Marshall last year.
So yeah, Truman does that same thing. This junior class, I keep wanting to call them the junior class. They're the senior class now, but
Really talented class.
carry a lot of talent in every sport. So we'll see what the Wildcats have dialed up here. This will be a situation that old Parks McNair might have had the ball his direction last year. Parks graduated, of course. Wildcats, I think it was possibly a design run, but just not a whole lot there up the middle. We had 2 receivers lined up on the far side, but it didn't look like they were looking for the ball. I could be wrong. So it's going to be 4th and 14. Scoreboard says 13, so 4th and 13 here. And
Very interested to see what the Wildcats do right here.
And coming up with scores from other teams, Westside is playing at home against Brooklyn tonight, and Brooklyn's up 12-0 on the Warriors.
Hey, I will say, when I watched Brooklyn in the scrimmage, I said that's an improved Brooklyn team. Brooklyn's fairly young, new to football.
He's
wide open.
And it looks like a touchdown.
What a play by the Wildcats! We got a flag down, guys. We got a flag.
Looks like they're going to maybe call it on Jake Osment. He's talking to
Yeah, Jake doesn't look happy, so I'm guessing that flag's going to be against the Wildcats. We'll see what the call is. Holding against the Wildcats. Hey, that was Coach Cook, that was a well-designed play. Jake Osment, you executed it well. And who's the kid up top? I'm sorry, that's Brandon
Dome.
Brandon Dome, a sophomore. And I was told by his stepdad, Mr. Ron, Brandon's playing on both sides of the ball this year, offense and defense. So, man, I hate that the sophomore had his first touchdown taken away from him, but he's going to have a lot of opportunities to get into that end zone.
As the punt team comes out, we see a couple of new faces. We got Caden Donovan, number 2, coming out, and number 33, David Hodges, playing on this punt team.
The Wildcats will line up and punt here, and I doubt we'll see any trickery, but hey. Great punt.
Goes
Great
just
punt.
short of the end
He's gonna let it
zone.
touch back. Yeah, he's gonna let it get into the end zone. Smart play by the Mustangs. So that will be a touchback.
To update anybody curious, Newport is up 14-0 with 8:51 left to go in the second quarter.
Did their big receiver graduate, or is he a senior this year?
I think he's a senior. He was young.
Talking about Isaiah Kendall. Isaiah Kendall graduated. He's at Jackson State now.
He's at Jackson State. Okay.
Isn't that Dion's old running?
Oh yeah,
It was.
Dion, of course, at Colorado now. And
Him and his son. His son plays for them too.
Yeah, his son too. Well, we missed the hold, but
And a big shout out to our students out here tonight. Looks like we had Macy Powell, Lindy Barnes helping with the football team right now, keeping hydrated and doing the balls. And we also have Emily Williams and Asher Smith down on the field.
that was number 2 Camden Brooks on the carry for Hoxie.
so that's going to bring up second and about a long 7. 2:24 to go here in the first quarter. Wildcats lead 6-0. Had the opportunity to go up 12-0, but touchdown called back. I'll tell you, I'm excited to see this offense tonight. They've come out hitting on all cylinders. We've really not got a chance to see the defense a whole lot. The Mustangs have turned the ball over twice already tonight.
Like
There they go, quick pass.
Out to the UCA commit.
Jake Jones. Be very interesting to see how he plays tonight.
So the Mustangs big across the front. I mean, we see one of their linemen here listed at 6'3", 405. They got a 6'1", 190.
Switch to the booth every now and again just to keep it refreshed.
So Hoxie calling in their play right now, and this So it's going to be 1st and 10. And again, they had no trouble moving the ball in that first series for about 3 or 4 plays until they fumbled the ball, and they're moving it again here. The Wildcats are in the backfield. Great pursuit by Gavin Greenwell.
Covered up by
Gavin
looks like
and-
Cade Hayes and Brandon Doan, 2 sophomores.
So we're back in the booth here again. Switch it up. This helps it rotate a little bit. And we've been getting multiple messages that they wanted to see Luke and Evan in the booth. So there they are. And we do apologize for all the good looks that the Bishops bring. It's,
Very true.
It's genetic. You can't change genes. So we'll click back to the field here. So the Wildcats want nothing more than a stop here, guys.
And with 2 turnovers.
Oh,
he
that's
dropped
a
it.
fumble.
There we go. Looks like they're going to move back to around 3rd and 11.
Gavin Cuban in hot pursuit right there.
Third down, 11. 36-yard line. Third down.
So 3rd and 11 here for the Mustangs, and they're going to let the clock run out and talk about it. So that's the end of our first quarter. Kind of the story of the first quarter has been a story of the Wildcats executing on offense and able to create some turnovers. We had 2 fumbles and almost a third there.
Yeah, it looks like Hoxie's just beating themselves right now.
And back in the booth here, guys, I try to scoot back a little bit. We're cutting off the top of our head, but so far impressed. I mean, I think some of those, early mistakes are always, you're going to have jitters on the first game. There's been a lot go on today with the water situation and moving the game times back to 8 with the heat. And I know everybody's been hydrating, our band, our cheerleaders. I'm not even sure what the temperature was at game time, but it was hot.
It was hot. It's been humid all day, and it's been like that the past couple days. I know there's been a few schools in central Arkansas shut down because of their AC problems. And today at Nettleton, their AC was turned off by
somebody turned it.
Someone turned their
air
AC
conditioner.
off at Nettleton School District today at the high school and the middle school.
Well, one of the discussions, early on when we were trying to figure out the water situation, I know there was some talk about the game being played at Hoxie. Was told that their concession stand didn't have air, so they couldn't get ready in time for that. But I do have to give kudos, a shout out, whatever you want to call it, to the administration, because this all kind of happened late in the day, and they were able to. Coach Blue, I think, went and picked up a trailer full of water. We had several people donate water. And where this stretches, I mean, it's not just about hydrating tonight, but next week. I mean, the lunch ladies have got to be able to clean vegetables and wash them off. You've got to have kids having water at school. So the administration has been all over that. And so I think Coke ended up providing. We're partnered with Coke. I think they ended up providing several drinks, brought a trailer load in. So we'll get back to the game here as the second quarter is about to kick off.
Looks like Hoxie will be lined up in a trips formation right now.
You are right, Evan, and they run that spread. We've not seen them sling it around a whole lot. They've thrown some short passes, but it's a spread with a heavy run. Quarterback in shotgun motion.
Looks like a fake. He's drawn back.
A little bit of a
Pass to
screen,
Jake Jones.
maybe, but
He's taken down by
he was met by a host of.
Looks like we got a flag.
They might get. I hope it's not a target.
And it looks like they called it on Gavin Greenwell.
Man, Gavin, that was a great hit. I mean, if this call ends up being against Gavin, I don't agree with it. So we had Jake Osment there, Gavin Greenwell, Brandon Dome. There was a host of Wildcats there. There was some popping going on. We'll see what the white hat. Yeah, they're going to call a personal foul against the Wildcats.
Wildcat fans don't like it.
I apologize to AAA now, but that was not a good call. That's called football. We hit football. So, hey, if you're a player, does that not fire you guys up?
It fires you up. I tell you what, Coach Reynolds emphasizes swarm to the football.
Yep.
Get all 11 black hats there, and that's just aggression taking over.
Coach Reynolds, again, he is the defensive coordinator. He took over that role. assistant head coach on top of that. You know, Coach Cook, he's dialed into Truman. I don't know if a lot of people realize this. He bought a house here in Truman before he was ever named head coach. Kids love him here. Newlywed, hadn't been married very long. So Hoxie will snap the ball here. Hand off up the middle.
Once again to Camden Brooks, and he breaks away.
I don't know how he broke away, but big run by number 2, Camden Brooks. Senior, 5'10", 191 pounds, and he ran with all 191 that time. He bounced off, and that's where you got to wrap up.
Yeah, brought down by Caden Donovan.
We're trying to work on the camera here. I apologize that we thought if we switched camera mode, Justin was saying it might keep it rolling a little bit smoother, so we do apologize for it.
Still messing up?
Well, I'm going to ask Jeff. He said it did when I switched over, so I'm going to see what we got here. So Hoxie calls a timeout. I'm going to switch one more time, see if I can smooth it out a little bit. Maybe that'll help when we switch back to the field. So
We've got about 11 minutes.
Yeah.
11 minutes left.
all jokes aside, I have no IT ability, and Justin said this should help switching back and forth. So we'll see. And you know, Cade Hatton down there, he may not be playing tonight, but he's up in the middle of the huddle. He's bringing his teammate, his family, some water and some drinks, and I like that leadership. So we'll see Truman cheerleaders on the sideline tonight. They're coached by Coach Cameron Bentley, and Coach Bentley also an assistant principal at our middle school.
Oh, okay.
So guys, who's your prediction in college football? Who's going to be the team this year?
Man, it's Razorbacks all the way for me, man.
That's right.
As much as I love the Razorbacks, I'm thinking Georgia. Georgia usually carries a pretty good amount. TCU had an upbringing last year.
If the Razorbacks stay healthy, we're going to be the surprise team.
So we say every year.
Hey,
This is our year.
So we'll go back to the game here. Hopefully, it looks like it's running a little smooth on our end. So Jeff, hopefully it won't freeze up. Let me know if it is.
Two running backs in the backfield here for Hoxie. So they'll go to number 5.
So we do apologize about it freezing up a little bit.
Still freezing?
Yeah, Jeff says it's still kind of freezing around. Hey, first game of the year, you guys got to give us a chance to work out our duties. So Hoxie threatening to score here. About 20 seconds on the play clock. They've got to go about 7 yards. There we go, Mr. Smith. Doing a little work on it, refresh. A little bit of movement, but there was not a call. And the Wildcats swarmed the ball there. Host the Wildcats in on that tackle. Looks like Garcia was in there. Carson Smith led the way. Cubitt was there in the mix, I think. I'm a little surprised we've not seen more designated water breaks tonight. I figured we'd get about every 3 to 5 minutes game time, we'd get a water break. But the players are staying hydrated. I say that. These players are staying hydrated. I'm seeing a lot of guys drinking water on the sidelines for both teams.
No, it's hard to keep them hydrated when you have a boil advisory.
It is. Can't have that ice either. Ball snap. Fakes the handoff, and the Wildcats.
Oh, we advance on it. Just
Too
over.
much. Goes on to the back of the end zone.
4th down.
Well covered by the Wildcats. You know, and again, I go back to this Wildcat defense last year. One of the things that was consistent, we had so many big 4th down stops. And this defense has got an opportunity to make another one here. I mean, this would be almost heartbreaking to the Mustangs that the Wildcats can hold them out of the end zone here. Jeremy Guy tells me Florida Gators are going to win it all.
Let's go Wildcats.
He must be watching the Tebow rerun.
Yeah,
That's been on.
That's on ESPN right now.
Yeah.
I just see this fourth down right here.
Fourth down, big play.
They look
Wildcats.
for a pass, and he
It's
catches
caught
it.
by Jake Jones.
Just off the fingertips of Brandon Dome, but that was a great pass.
Yeah.
He put it about the only place anybody could catch it was his receiver. Looks like that was Jake Jones on the touchdown. He's a big senior, 6'3", 220. Plays tight end, wide receiver, defensive end. Sophomore had a big responsibility there. So Brandon, you did a good job on that. That's just a senior making a big play, and
Talented kid.
yep, you know it's coming. So our ball game's tied at 6 with 9:29 to go in the second quarter. And
They
the
miss
kick
it.
is no good. So hey,
High ball game.
we still got a tie ball game here. So I saw improvement on the Truman defense that time. I mean, I know the Mustangs went down and scored, but we had several big stops, and I mean, we were about probably 3 inches and a half a second away from that being a broken up pass, and they turned the ball over. So the Wildcats will get an opportunity to strike again, and they've been hitting on all cylinders tonight on offense.
You know, one of the more dominant teams in our conference is Rivercrest. Now it's got an update that they're up 25-0 against Manila, knowing that they just have a new head coach this year from Kane White.
My favorite fan, Sarah Ferguson, is watching from home tonight. So Sarah put Jeremy to bed. We got big plans tomorrow. He needs to get some rest. I'm assuming Jeremy's playing in the club championship, TCC club championships tomorrow, and a lot of good golfers out there at the country club right now. Toby Riddle, I guess, is going to play in the club championship.
As far as I know.
Love all those guys out there, but I'd love to see Kobe come away with a club championship win. So the Wildcats, who we got back to receive, guys?
Looks like we got Jake Osment.
Brandon Dome, it looks like.
Yeah, Jake Osment and Brandon Dome from what it looks like.
And your next level, I guess if they've got a pooch kick, who all do we got there? I see Carson
We
Smith.
got Carson Smith, Dave Hodges, Caden Donovan, and Gavin Cubic.
Okay. So it's a lot of guys that can pick up some yards. We'll see where Hoxie is. First time we've got the ball, and they're going to get
Kicks
it
it over to Jake
Osment
Osment.
with the ball, follows his blocks, and hey, not a bad place to start.
Looks like we're starting about the 33.
That was Evan Householder on the tackle for the Mustangs. Now, is that Macy Powell down there keeping stats with Coach Cook?
Looks
Yeah,
like
I
it.
think so. With Lindy Barnes.
Lindy Barnes, Macy a senior.
You know, both these teams have had a couple drives now, so they're both settled in, and hey, it's just time to play football now.
Hey, as they used to say back in the day, we might have a barn burner here tonight, guys.
It's like a
And
run to
on the
Brody
Popejoy.
Popejoy. It's tackled
Picks up.
shy of 35.
Brody's going to pick up about a yard, and it looks like one of Hoxie's linemen lost his helmet, so he'll have to come off the field for one play, and that's number 70,
William Wilson.
William Wilson. William Jr.
Correction, he's a sophomore.
Sophomore?
Sophomore.
Okay, sophomore. Hey, a lot of young players seeing the field tonight for both teams. The 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats. Ball game tied 6-6. 8:51 to go here in the first half. Ball snap.
Jake Osment's going to keep it.
Oh,
There he
He gets
goes.
a break.
And he's got a lot of grease. Hey, big block there by Brandon Dome. Jake Osment with a great run up the middle.
Looks
but
like he had a hard
Yeah,
hit.
he's
He's still on
slow
the
to get
ground.
up.
I think he probably got his breath knocked out of him. He kind of went down hard on his
We're gonna
stomach.
take an injury timeout here.
So we got an injury timeout here. Justin, you think it'd be all right if I came back to the booth or leave it alone? We got. We'll leave it alone because the last time we came back to us for a minute, it kind of stalled on us. But
Yeah, it looks like
Jake's up. He's up moving around. So I think he might have got the wind knocked out of him. That turf will do it if you hit just right.
Now we're going to see Caden Donovan, a sophomore, get in there for a play at quarterback.
And Donovan, again, is one that's seeing playing time on both sides of the ball, so he's not your normal sophomore. We want Jake back out there on the field, but listening to the coaches, Donovan is a solid backup for Jake if we need him to come in and make a play.
He got solid playing time last year, being moved up to the senior high team as a freshman.
I think you're right. He started at cornerback last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he started at corner against Harrisburg, got an interception, made a massive impact.
So everybody's going to get hydrated here and take advantage of our injury timeout. Jake will have to come out for one play since he had an injury, but he's moving around fine on the sideline, so I expect to see him back in the very next play. And the Wildcats have got 1st and 10 in Hoxie territory, guys.
We got about 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second quarter before halftime. The score's tied 6-6.
Both teams are preparing for this heat. I see pickle juice on Truman's sideline. I don't know if I see it on Hoxie's, but drink that pickle juice. Keep cramps away.
Lauren Harlow says Mizzou's going to win it all, but that's not Missouri, guys. Does Mizzou have a football team in the SEC?
I guess they do.
So.
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought they moved down with Harding Bisons.
Yeah, they play. Speaking of Harding, we got old Will Ryan White in the house tonight.
Fastest 40 on the Harding football team.
He does have the fastest
Truman
40 on the
legacy.
Harding team right now. He's came in. Harding's off this week. They don't actually start. Well, they played Thursday night, so they weren't off week 1, but played Thursday night, so they won't play Saturday. And then, of course, most of college football kicks off next Saturday. So 1st and 10 for the Wildcats here. Donovan with the ball. He picks up positive yardage.
About 3 or 4 yards. Yeah.
Not as. I thought it should have been a little better spot, but they're gonna show that he picked up about 3 yards.
It looks like Jake Osmond is about to come back in. He's looking healthy. He subs in.
So Jake is back in. Good to see him back in. You always hold your breath when those guys go down. And Jake, tough kid, so it's going to be hard to keep him on the sideline, but he's moving around fine. Again, I think he's got the wind knocked out of him. Looks like Carson Smith is going to come in at H-back.
We're going to keep Gavin
Got Cubitt in the backfield.
Jake's going to keep the ball there.
He's pushing it.
Oh,
I think that was more of a...
I'm hoping Jake's all right. He's slow to get up again. And I'm not sure if that was a design play there. He pulled it from Cubitt's gut, but I couldn't tell if it was a read or if that was a design quarterback run. But positive yardage nonetheless. It's going to be 3rd and real short. I tell you, I'm old school, but if this is me right here, I line up under center. I give Cubitt the ball, or we do a quarterback sneak.
Go straight up.
We reset our downs.
Well, HB dive. Power 3.
Carson Smith lined up at H-back.
Oh,
bad snap. Jay gets it again. He gets
They just made him in the hole.
He's feeling it.
Those are the kind of mistakes. His helmet comes off, so I think he'll have to come out for one play regardless.
And you don't see that often. Brody McDaniel's been getting a lot of reps since his sophomore year.
Oh, Brody's an outstanding center, and it's one of the hardest jobs on the field. As a center, you got to line up on the ball, get the ball snapped, know who you're blocking. You're kind of the leader of that offensive line. Brody's family, of course, owns the legendary Hightowers. Go get you a Big T special. Yeah, we're going to try to pull them off sides there. Hoxie just not falling for it.
Looks like play clock.
Truman did get the timeout. That's going to be their last timeout, I believe. Yep, so there's 6:21 to go. Truman's out of timeouts here in the first half. And again, we're going to leave it on the field during this timeout just so we don't mess up.
Well, during this timeout, I'm going to give you a couple score updates. Little Rock Mills is up 8-0 on Blytheville in the first quarter. Jonesboro and West Memphis 0-0 in the second quarter. Paracle Greene County Tech 0-0 in the second quarter. Let me scroll down here. Nettleton and Mountain Home is up 22-6 in the second quarter. Harding Academy up 21-6 on Valley View in the second quarter. Brooklyn up 18-0 second quarter. Southside up 7-0 on Pocahontas once again in the second quarter.
That's a big gap because you usually see Pocahontas as one of the tougher, better teams out here in the 4A conference.
So guys, I can't give Lauren too hard of a time. He did not say Mizzou was going to win it all. You know, Lauren is a Southeast Missouri guy, and his son Drake, the starting quarterback for the junior high Wildcats, and then of course Ridge is kicking off his playing time here as a fourth grader. That game was canceled, I think, tomorrow, wasn't it, Evan?
Yeah.
Pee Wee football is going to play late tomorrow night, but fourth grade is not playing. But I've heard a lot of people say, Ridge plays strong enough, he should be moved up to the fifth grade. But Miss Militia might not like that. So ball snap.
Donovan's going to take it. I don't think he has it.
Right up to Donovan. Nobody told him he was a sophomore.
It looks like we have Justin Price and Thomas Chavarria pushing a guy all the way back to the 15.
Yeah, that
Good
offensive
blocks.
line. If you guys get a chance to give a shout out to some of those guys on the offensive line, we need to do it because that's where it
guys.
starts.
And that's good for the Wildcats.
First down. Yeah, so another Wildcat first down.
Looks like we kind of have a heavy set out there right now. We have number 77, Zane Price, out there as an extra lineman.
She's the younger brother of Justin Price, who's also out there as a lineman.
So two brothers out there on the line. That's exciting. Donovan fakes the handoff to Hope Joy, keeps it.
Once again, double fullback backfield.
And that's
I
Jake.
apologize.
Jake's
That's
back.
Jake. I'm sorry. Jake, I apologize on that. I didn't see you slip back in there. So no gain. It's going to be 2nd and 10. And, another positive take away from this is the Wildcats have done a good job eating some clock. I mean, they've scored quick when they scored, and, we had the touchdown called back, but they're eating a lot of clock here.
So we got about 10 seconds left on the play clock, and we are still not set.
Yeah, it's a
They
struggle
gotta go.
tonight for the Wildcats trying to get the play call in. 5 seconds on
Gotta
the play
call it.
clock. 4, 3, 2.
And we got it
1.
off.
They did get it off.
Looks like it's going to be a pass. He throws one downfield, almost intercepted.
Nearly intercepted. And that's just a bad combination when you're having to rush the snap and try to get the ball downfield.
I believe that was once again number 2, Camden Brooks.
Yeah. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 10, and Hoxie defense holding strong here as the Wildcats have moved across midfield. They're on the Hoxie, I guess, what would that be, 28-yard line? So the Hoxie 28. The Wildcats have got to get to about the 18-yard line for a first down. Ball snap. Osment with it.
Another pass, it looks like.
Check
Gets it
that
off,
down
it's
to Gavin
caught.
Greenwell.
Gavin to me.
Gavin, big run by Gavin there. He picked up some extra yardage after the catch.
Looks like he's going to sit around 4th and 6.
A 4th and a long 6. Well, they're even going to call it 7 on the scoreboard.
Once again, Zane Price running out there. Looks like they're going to go right back to the heavy set.
Well, Jake Osment did
We got a
another
Hoxie player
injury for
down.
Hoxie.
And he does not look good.
And I'm surprised we've not seen more cramps tonight, but this will be a good chance for both teams to get some more water, get hydrated. As hopefully this Hoxie player will be fine. He's moving around out there. He's rolling around on his own, and
I'll tell you what, a newer line on Hoxie's part, and man, they look like they've been doing it, man. They're doing a good job.
well, they're a very disciplined team. I mean, they're going to do things the right way, and they've had some stud athletes come through over the years. If I'm not mistaken, I think they had a quarterback come through several years ago that I think played at ASU. You have to forgive me. I've aged a little bit and slept. I used to remember a lot of those guys' names from Northeast Arkansas. When I was in school, we never had the opportunity, I don't think, to play Hoxie. They never crossed our schedule.
I also remember the Powell brothers. They came through a couple years ago.
Yeah, the Powell brothers.
which I believe Shunderick was a 2022 ASUN Offensive Player of the Year last year. He transferred recently to UCA this upcoming season.
UCA, pretty big time program for a smaller school. You know, UCA's come up here several times and given the Red Wolves a run for their money at times. Speaking of the Red Wolves, right here in our backyard, Butch Jones' third year, and he's had the best recruiting class in the Sun Belt 2 years running, and so a lot of expectations for that program this year. You know, coming off two pretty bad years, but he's got his players in there now.
And with him being here for 3 years, you can't forget that he come from Alabama
He was
the offensive coordinator.
Well, he was an assistant at Alabama, head coach at Tennessee at one time. I mean, Butch Jones is a big name in college football. I'd love for him to turn the program back around. I mean, he's got some big time playmakers in there, and
we actually have a big game at home this year with them playing Memphis, and it looks like they might call the paramedics.
Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and switch this to the booth here. I apologize. I wouldn't have wanted to be on the field, but get a chance, say a little prayer for the Hoxie player. We don't know what's going on, but they are calling for some paramedics. I mean, he is moving. He's conscious down there. He's moving his arms and moving his legs, and
Don't know which Hoxie player that is.
Fire department.
so
Hate to see this.
nothing
week
wrong
one.
with him. And they do have him stood up.
No, I think they're carrying him.
Okay.
It's just
Man.
it's not looking good. You hate to see it.
They're gonna bring him over and put him in the water.
Truman coaches.
Hearing some talking here, they think that there could be some overheating involved, and that it is one of the concerns when we play with this kind of heat index. So
Man, that's.
So again, if you're tuning in, we've got an injury for the Mustangs, and
You hate to see this.
they're bringing him over to the Truman sideline. They're going to try to get him submerged in water.
Oh man.
Looks like everyone's there. We're trying to do a little
back.
crowd control right now.
Yeah, backing everybody off.
Man.
Get him cooled down.
They got the pads off of him
Oh
now.
man.
Guys, please say a prayer for this Hoxie player. They're trying to get all the pads off of him and
Man.
get some cool water on him. I appreciate that. It looks like the Truman Fire Department is working tonight, and they're down there immediately attending to him. Truman does have an athletic trainer now that's
we have
hired.
two tonight.
Two athletic trainers tonight, so something you've not seen in the past. So we've got a lot of people that know what they're doing down there right now, and we just pray that he'll be perfectly fine. And everybody seems fairly calm down there with him, so I take that as any positive you can take out of it. I'll take that as a positive, but
Getting word that it may be heat exhaustion.
so it could be heat exhaustion, and I forgot the camera was on me for a second, so sorry you guys were just having to look straight ahead at my shirt. Well, Truman fans are certainly showing a lot of class in this situation, as is the Truman football team. And when something like this happens, it's you throw football out the window. It's we want everybody to be healthy. And I know everybody wants this to turn out for the good, and see Superintendent Brandy Williams down on the sideline as well.
It's nice to see right here this Truman team saying a team prayer.
That
That's
is.
good
I mean, that's
sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship by the Truman
Wildcats
team.
taking a minute to take a knee and pray for the kid, and a lot of class. I'm trying to see if I could get a visual if he's up moving around now.
We're trying to look.
Looks like we're still attending to him.
See Mr. Smith walking there behind me, and
He is cautious.
so he is conscious. I mean, that's a really, really good thing. And
You just hate to see this.
And the heat's been a major concern. I mean, we don't know if that is the cause. I mean, that's the assumption. We got a tie ball game, 6-6, 4:34 to go here in the first half. Certainly not how we wanted to stop the game, but I do think the stop will be good for both teams to get even more hydrated. And I mean, right now, just looking at my weather app, we've got a temperature of 84 degrees with a heat index of 94. So 9 o'clock at night, and it feels like it's 94 degrees outside. And that's been another concern. I mean, we don't have the ice being an issue. It looks like they've got somewhere that we can go get some ice. All right, and just immediate action by everyone on the field. Glad the officials called for EMT and the fire department to come down.
I got Robert Lane down there.
Well, guys, you just really hate this for the Hoxie player. I just want to get word that everything's fine, and I think you will be. I mean, this is just kind of stuff you gotta pay close attention to.
Yeah.
And
as of right now, they're not calling for extra medical assistance.
Looks like they're still huddled around him on the Truman side.
Yeah.
number one priority is getting him moving around.
Make sure he's okay.
Coach Blue has pulled onto the sideline. They went and got the old Wildcat mobile golf cart. It can be used for transportation if needed. So again, if you happen to be just tuning in, we've 4:34 to go here in the second quarter, and we've had an unfortunate injury to the Hoxie Mustangs. By all indications, looks like it could be heat exhaustion, but they immediately have gotten him on the sideline, and right now that's the number one priority, and should be. Both teams, you can see the concern in both teams' eyes. The Wildcats, took the opportunity to kneel and say a prayer for their competitor.
Looks like they got his pads off on the Truman sideline.
Glad to see that they were able to get those off. And see Miss Amy Hayes there in front of us. Her baby boy Cade Hayes out there, number 15, one of the sophomores, and
Starting on defense.
Amy is a nurse. I see Carl's a first responder. He was there. I think he's made his way down to the field possibly.
See these Hoxie coaches joining their player right now, making sure he's okay.
Looks like you're getting him out of the tub at the moment.
Oh.
And they're just trying to cool that core temperature down, and they do get him out of the ice bath. For those that may not know, there's an ice bath on the sideline, and I believe both sidelines have it. That way, if in an event something like this happens, you can immediately cool somebody down. See high school principal Mr. Houck down there as well, known in some parts of the world as Hawk.
Yeah, as of right now, it looks like they got him on the bench. He's looking good, responsive. They have a cooler down there waiting on him to just get some water in his system.
Well, and I can see it looks like his parents are down there, and I mean, they look calm, cool, and collective, and so I think that's good news. I mean, nobody's running around crazy. It was scary there for a moment. He wasn't moving a whole lot out there, and then they had to carry him off. Didn't look conscious, but I think he's conscious now. His parents have been over there on the sideline. I see the Hoxie staff now returning to the sideline. Gavin Greenwell's showing a lot of...
Hey, no one can see your face, bro.
Oh, they want to look at that pretty head. Guys, I apologize. A face like this, and I don't throw it up there. That's teasing people. Pastor Maley coming in here and telling me.
It looks like now they do have an ambulance coming out into the field.
It's coming down.
It is good to see the Hoxie coaching staff going back their direction. We can see his parents down there, and obviously a serious situation, but a lot of smiles. I do start to see some smiles down there and interaction. So they're going to do everything to make sure this is treated properly. And he is Mayor Wood said he is setting up drinking water, so good signs. And if any Hoxie fans, if we continue to play here or watching tonight, if you could keep us in the loop. But I know everybody out there is praying for a speedy recovery. And
So they're pulling the stretcher out there.
Yeah.
if we were able to return to action here in a little bit, there will be 4:34 to go here in the first half. I'm Kevin Bishop alongside Luke Bishop and Evan Bishop. Bishop Trio. Again, earlier Luke was bragging on the student section out there. We need to bring that same energy every game. So, I mean, if you tell your kids that they're here tonight in the student section, bring it every game.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting, and we got a full house here, Wildcat fans. Trying to get word from the field, not real sure where we go from here, but they'll...
Looks like he's walking.
Yes, a lot of claps from the crowd.
Glad to see that he's okay and get him the proper treatment that he needs.
Well, I am glad to see that. Anytime you see any player go down for an extended time and it requires the cart to come out, it's just scary. And just quick reaction by everyone involved. The officials,
Kudos to them.
our first responders on duty, superintendent was down there, other administrators, Coach Bentley was in the mix, Coach Blue. So we had several people paying attention to it, and the Wildcat fans are even ringing their cowbells for him, because I think he gave a little bit of a wave as they put him in the back of the ambulance. So that is positive news, and looks like we are going to continue play possibly. They assumed we would, but the officials are discussing right now. They're going to walk over to see the white hat come into the Truman huddle. It should be 4th down and 7 to go for the Wildcats, and they're on the Hoxie 25-yard line, so we assume they would go for it if we start play back here. And it'll take a second for Medic 1 to get the young man out of here, and I'm sure a lot of this is precaution to get him to the hospital where they can check him out. And there's good news there at the end, it sounds like. And see Coach Reynolds out on the field, Coach Cook.
Well, right now it's not looking too good.
Well,
I know it looks like they're getting stretched.
We thought for a minute. We'll turn back to the field here real quick for a minute.
See the Truman team now. Everyone's getting re-stretched.
Justin, I may have to get some help here in a second. When I switched it back, it looks like it's freezing a little bit. So
It's just the limitations that we have right now with this booth. And
oh, hey.
a lot of people in here with the internet. We're going to have to fix it.
Yeah, hey.
Sorry about
it's been
that.
running. It's been running pretty smooth.
Yeah.
We were just the Wildcats. We thought for a minute that they were gonna possibly call the game, but both teams now getting loose as we had stopped for a while. So Coach Reynolds getting the Wildcats ready to go. Hoxie's over there stretching. So they're probably going to give about a 3 to 5 minutes, I would think, here to let everybody get stretched out. The officials are huddled up at around the 25-yard line in discussion. But I assume that we are gonna play. I mean, you would think if they were gonna call the game, we would have known by now, and both teams wouldn't be getting loose. But Mr. Jason Taylor there in front of us. Brandon Dome's stepdad and mom sitting right in front of us as well. I warned Ron when I come in here that you got to be careful. We're mic'd up right here behind us.
See, now we have Hayes' parents
I can see
out
all
here.
of them. I see Carl Wilson,
Amy Hayes.
Cheney.
Update on the King White score.
See if we can't get one. We were talking about that. Kane White,
What team is he with?
coach at Waldron, head coach at Waldron, arguably the toughest conference in 4A in the state. I mean, they've got a potential state champion in that conference every single year. Kane left the realms at Manila, headed over to Waldron. We're going to see if we can't get a score.
Well, you could probably get it on there.
Yeah, I got some scores pulled up. Little Rock Mills up 15-0 on Blytheville in the second quarter. Jonesboro up 16-0 on West Memphis at halftime. Paragould and Greene County Tech 0-0 at halftime.
Hey, that's big. Paragould, Coach Phillips, our former coach at Paragould, and they've had a struggle the last 10 years or so. So
Mountain Home and Nettleton, Mountain Home's up 22-12 at half. Well, it looks like Harding Academy is running away with it in Valley View. Harding Academy up 34-12 at the end of the second quarter. Brooklyn is up 24-0.
Brooklyn up 24-0 on West Side. That may be the biggest surprise of the night.
Yeah.
Showing right here, it looks like Waldron is down 6-10 at halftime.
6-10 at halftime. We're going to go back to the game here.
So we're just getting started up.
Also want to mention Gosnell's up 30-0 in the second quarter against Piggott.
So guys, if you're out there watching, do know that we're trying. Like Justin said, we got a lot of internet moving around up here, and we're kind of confined to this booth. But we'll do everything we can to keep her rolling.
Oh, it looks like
and
our
the
team is
Wildcats
offsides.
able to pull the Mustangs off sides. So it won't quite get them the first down, but it goes from 4th and 7 to about 4th and 2. No, I apologize. They called a false start against Wildcats. I thought Hoxie had jumped. But I'm hearing here in the booth that one of our linemen kind of raised up, and that caused the false start penalty. So it'll be 4th and 11.
Hey, that's what a break does
12,
to you, man.
4th and 12. Yeah, it does. I mean, coming out, you're right, Evan. Coming out of a break like this,
Makes you antsy.
yeah, what momentum you might have had can change. I mean, it's kind of a brand new game, and we're tied 6-6, so we're starting from scratch.
So you got Brody Popejoy wound up in the backfield, running back, get that double H-back look again. Gavin Cuban and Carson Smith. Jack's
Wildcats
drop
gonna
back.
go to the air.
Drops back. Oh no, he gets
They
cut
get a
from
hold of him
behind.
immediately. Yeah, there's the pocket just collapsed on him.
Oh,
And right in front of the white hat, we've
celebrating right on top
kind
of
of
Jake as he's on the
jumping on
ground.
top of him, and nothing called. And those are the kind of calls you would expect to get anywhere, but especially at home.
Looks like Jake Jones with the pressure there once again, among quite a few other Hoxie Mustangs.
Not real sure the official refrained from making the call.
Looks like Hoxie's going to get another chance to try and score here before half.
Well, Hoxie, you're right, Evan. We'll get the ball back.
On up in that trips look once again.
I'm hearing out there from some of those crazy Mississippi State fans
No,
that they
man.
like the sound of the bell ringing, but I can't even believe I just said Mississippi State. So screen pass.
Looks like it's probably going to be a first down for Mustangs.
That's a screen pass to number 15, Dylan Guthrie.
What do they list him at? 5'9". He's a big 5'9", 178. He looks a lot bigger than that here on the sideline.
Looks like they have him listed as a quarterback. Am I reading that wrong?
That's right, quarterback,
Wide receiver, defensive back.
Junior. So it's going to be first down. Hoxie. Time's going to be their biggest enemy right here. It's 3:35 to go here in the first half. Wildcats will get the ball at halftime. So if they can hold tight here, it would be huge. Oh, ball on the ground
fumbles.
again.
Kate Hayes jumps on him.
They recover it, but I'm liking our pressure we're putting in this backfield.
Yeah, we're back there. That time Gavin Cubitt was back there. Looked like
Hayes.
Cade Hayes led the way. Cade, a sophomore. Gavin, a sophomore. So that's also exciting to see young talent. That means, you know, we got good years ahead of us. And
Another second or third fumble snap from Hoxie.
yeah, you're right, Evan. They've had trouble hanging on to the ball tonight.
It looks like we got him to jump.
2nd and 15.
They
They're
called
going to call
it.
the offsides. Yeah, in high school football, once you enter that zone, it's offsides.
Looks like that was on Efren Garcia and Kate Hayes.
I can't remember, in college, are you able to get back? You are in the NFL now.
Yeah, I think you are.
I think you
able
are.
to in college as well.
I apologize. I can see it freezing a little bit on our side. We'll get Justin to put some of that magic on it at halftime and see if we can smooth it out.
Hoxie lined up about the 46-yard line in their own territory.
2nd and 10 for the Mustangs.
This camera is not transcoding that.
Trips right. One receiver out left.
He's gonna drop back.
Wide
Wide open. Oh, and he dropped it. That's
Another drop.
another drop. Wide open pass.
Are they going to call it incomplete? No, they're going to say he caught it, aren't
Caught
they?
it. Looks like he caught it and fumbled the ball, but they're going to call it.
Yeah,
They
that's
are
the right
gonna-
call. I mean, he did catch it and take 2 or 3 steps, but
Trying to see who that is. That caught the ball. Looks like number 8, Nolan Blackshear for Hoxie, who caught the ball right there.
clock will continue to run. Hoxie does have 2 timeouts. Truman with no timeouts.
Third down. About a third down and about 2 right here.
Well, we expect Hoxie to go for it most likely on 4th down. Although you're right around midfield, you might want to punch it deep and not take the chance. I'm sorry. Ball snap. Quarterback out wide. We pursue the ball well,
gets
but
it,
can't get. He just runs the ball well too. And
It looks
a
like
lot of action going on. I don't see any flags, but there was a lot of action
Yeah,
going
looks
on
like
the sideline.
Hoxie fans wanting a flag for a late hit there.
looks
Now
like we got about a
that's not Mr. Donovan over there on the far sideline at Hoxie's, is it?
It may be.
Maybe.
Ran down there, man.
get closer.
Looks like it could be Mr. Donovan on the ramp over there. Not 100% sure.
Clock does stop here.
As I say, we got about a minute 49. We're lined up at the 36.
Looks like the clock is going to start running again on the White Hats.
Call, yeah.
And even got Mike Weaver that I work with tuning in, guys. I told you, be ready to sign autographs. Walmart won't be the same this week.
Kendon Brooks with the carry.
Just a gain of 8, maybe 7.
Tell you what, you're seeing a very spread out and balanced look with Hoxie tonight. I mean, it's their bread and butter. They've been running it for years.
Looks like maybe a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Mustangs.
So defense needs a big stop here. 2nd down. Oh, he loses the ball again.
Once
No.
again. Did he jump back on it?
Yeah, they're gonna say he recovered. I mean, it is hot. A lot of humidity out here. You
Yeah.
know the ball is slippery, but it looks like Hoxie's struggling a lot more hanging onto the ball than Truman is. That's what you think, that 4th or 5th
About
drop?
third or fourth time that's happened tonight.
You know, very first series for them tonight. Fumble the ball. Truman gets it, scores. Then they fumble on the kickoff after Truman scores, and then we've seen 3 right here on this series. So, hey, I'll take it. You know, keep fumbling.
Hoxie's making many mistakes tonight. You know, and that's come to expected when it's, you know, first week of the year, playing against a competition for the first time.
You know, as we helping with EJ Moore on the sideline.
There we are,
Water
guys.
out.
There we go.
Hmm.
So we
Camera's
got
a lot better.
well-burned timeout here for the Mustangs. It's the big third down for them. We've got a 6-6 ball game. You're on the road.
Only a minute left before halftime.
Looks about a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13 in
There's an
Wildcat
interruption.
territory.
I'm sorry, Evan. I was just going to say if there's an interruption out there, Mr. Smith over here working on us. There you are.
That was earlier.
That was there. Okay.
I might have to pause the stream here in a minute.
Yeah, we'll try to mess with this at halftime. We've only got a minute 2 here to go. 6-6, 3rd and 14 for the Mustangs.
Looks like our defense isn't really set all the way.
Trying to get set.
He snapped the ball. He drops back for a pass.
Garcia's back, or he's holding.
Yeah,
We're going to get
That's
the
a
holding.
flag.
Yeah.
There's a flag right there, y'all.
Not sure what the yeah, the white hat somehow missed the call in front of him, but sideline judge thankfully called the hold.
And then our press box was calling it, man. Looks like. It looks
We
like.
got a lot of excitement up here in the booth. We've got emotions running wild as well as we get a good sky view up here being in the press box and we can see a lot. So it's 4th down.
Truman's
Big play for the defense here.
Truman's going to decline that penalty, take the 4th down.
What do you do here if you're Hoxie? You almost have to go down the field with the ball.
Send up a prayer.
In the backfield again, Garcia's back
there. He
Up,
throws
and
it.
he's wide
It's
open
caught.
downfield.
Looks like they're going to be put it probably about the 13-yard line.
Tell them that we're going to pause at halftime.
So I'm getting word that we're going to pause the live feed at halftime. We think that'll help catch it back up. So hopefully the second half will be a lot smoother. But we'll stay right here with you. If there is a delay in any form or fashion, we'll try to do our best to commentate. So on that play there, Wildcats had the quarterback in the backfield, slips away, finds the receiver open downfield. So
Now the clock is running with about 40 seconds left in the game.
40 seconds. Hoxie's got one timeout.
Play clock at about 13. Play
Big
action
handoff.
He didn't get a lot of
Oh, he
time.
pulled out.
That's
Looks like
wide.
he hit him.
Oh, he slung around and he's still on his feet.
And he looks like
And
he's
they swung to that
tackled.
football.
We push him back.
Now the Wildcats
Out of the
being
way by
very
the Wildcats and
disruptive.
swung to the football there.
Last time out by Hoxie, 22 seconds left.
So there'll be no timeouts. I mean, they
Got about
basically they can get a first down without scoring, but they're going to have to take it down to about the 4-yard line. So
But at that point, I don't even know if it would be worth it. I mean, you're within the 5-yard line. You got to give all you got to get in that end zone.
the play calling becomes so important here. You put the ball on the ground, you don't pick it up, the clock runs, no timeouts. You're already second down, so you can't spike the ball really.
If you don't get set enough, you're not looking good.
I believe Hoxie is out of timeouts.
We can change the timeout, but I
It's like Hawks going to discuss what they're going to do here.
We were hearing again, Brooklyn leads West Side, I think 32-6, 32-0. So hey,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of good friends that their kids go to Brooklyn, and congratulations to them. It's always good to see a program that struggled kind of get a win. So here we go, guys.
Empty backfield, 5 wideouts.
It was about 2nd and 14.
Oh,
he
pressure
drops
from the
back.
backfield.
Another
And he
pressure
comes
off.
off his back foot.
is
Wow, what a
God.
ball.
Yeah, and they're going to call it a touchdown.
You just hate to see that.
They were defending the ball well and getting in the backfield, but somehow these receivers are able to find openings behind our defensive backs.
That was number 15, Dylan Guthrie, with the touchdown catch.
So we do have a barn burner on our hands
Yeah.
here. It's 12-6 Hoxie, 15 seconds to go, and I mean,
Great play from their quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
got pressure right in his face, scrambled out.
and there's no doubt he's making plays. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from him. I mean, our Wildcats are in the backfield. He's already shown he's hard to tackle. He can make plays.
Number 7, Caden Glenn, lined up at quarterback for the Mustangs.
They're going to go for 2. Yeah, looks like a handoff right down the middle, and he may be stopped.
And maybe short of that.
I don't see a signal yet.
I'm seeing.
Looks like the side judge is saying that.
Yeah, incomplete.
So it's short. So big play for the Wildcats as Hoxie lines up on the 3-yard line, not able to put it in.
Keep within 6 points.
So you had Cubic and Carson Smith up the middle there. See Carson wrapping his hand. Some of his tapes come loose on his wristband where they keep the plays. Hey, if I'm Coach Reynolds here, I tell the defense there's just a few small things.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to communicate out there. Some of that could be communication. I mean, guys have got to talk. If you see a receiver behind somebody, you got to talk.
You got to wrap up as well. Curious to see what Truman does if they get the ball here. Probably safe bet would be to take a knee, go straight into halftime. We have about 15 seconds on the clock, so he may have a shot to get one more play off. It's like number 5, Preston Wilkerson, the kick. Hope I'm saying his first name right.
We'll remind everybody we'll be here each and every week for home games. And the Wildcats this year, 6 home games? Or
Yeah, 6 or 7.
6 or 7 home games. So very favorable home schedule. We have to go to Highland. I believe we'll go to Blytheville.
Mm-hmm. Highland, Blytheville, and next week at Manila, I believe.
Next week at Manila. So
Not next week, but the week after.
yeah, we are off next week, I think, aren't we?
Yeah.
Evan? So Truman gets a bye week next week.
And it looks like they're going to sweep it out of bounds.
That's a flag.
Well, I'm kind of surprised Hoxie didn't just kick it and make us return it there, burn some clock. I mean, you're going to burn 5 seconds off the clock. Now Truman will get the ball at about the...
See where they line us up.
I'm not sure if we'll get it at the 35 or they mark a penalty. It looks like they're going to spot the ball at the 35. I thought when it goes out of bounds, that's the...
Be interesting to see what Coach Cook does here.
Osmond's got a cannon arm. You've got some receivers that have shown they can get downfield. You got Greenwell, you got Garcia.
You know, right now it looks like they're kind of putting everyone deep, almost
Yeah,
20 yards downfield, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get a little outside run out of bounds, and it'll give us time for one more play.
Now, Hoxie's going to set up in a prevent type defense here. This is if you're playing Madden, you know, put the prevent on.
Cover 6.
We're just knocking it down.
15 yards back. Oh,
It's that same thing,
snap.
isn't it?
Jason's going to run the ball up the middle.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
fumble.
fumble.
Yeah, a fumble. Luckily, the Wildcats able to recover. They have no timeout, so I expect them to let the clock just run out here.
Covered by Justin Price.
You don't want to turn over in this part
That'll
of
be
the
our
game.
halftime right there.
So, guys, we go to the half. The Mustangs lead 12-6 in what's been just an outstanding game tonight. It's anybody's game. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Hopefully we'll get the live stream a little bit smoother there. I'm Kevin Bishop, Luke Bishop, and Evan Bishop. We'll see you in just a bit.
You leaving already? You gotta work tomorrow.